Hi, Chris Popper here in Bangor. I'm joined by the state champion, 8-man large school coach. Should be coach of the year. I don't. If I'm voting, it's for you, Mark Shields. Mark, congratulations. We joke, but congratulations. What a fantastic win um, this past Saturday in Bangor. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I'm not gonna lie, it feels pretty good. I remember talking to my buddy Andy Pooler when he won states last year in basketball, and he said, "Yeah, it's a pretty good feeling." And I thought, "Oh, I don't know if I'll ever have that feeling or not, winning a championship, a state championship like that." But hats off to the kids. They played a great game. Hats off to the coaching staff. Those guys worked extremely hard to get the team ready, and we executed the game plan as well as we could, holding them to 0 points. And, offensively, Mark Arnold had a nice scheme to attack what they like to do defensively. And, it's just a special day, no doubt about it. It was, for starters, we had a great crowd. We traveled well, and it was nice. It was right there in Bangor, and it was a cold day, no doubt about it. I felt the cold before the game. Didn't really feel it during, and definitely didn't feel it after. But it was chilly out there with a nice little wind. But yeah, to see the boys hoist that gold ball for the first time in school history was pretty special.
Well, I was kind of putting everything together and gathering my thoughts after the game. And when you realize the fact that you went through 3 playoff games and only allowed 9 points, I mean, and I was coming up with a title here, and I mean they gained some yardage, but it was definitely a bend but don't break defense, and it was really remarkable to look at this year.
Yeah, definitely. Somebody asked me about that just today about the defense, and I'm the one that, I'm the defensive coordinator, and honestly, it's taken me 2.5 years to kind of figure out how to coach the defense properly and effectively. And I mean, sorry, this is only our third year in 8-man football. I was an offensive coordinator my whole career, and sure enough, these last 3 years I'm the defensive coordinator. So there was quite a learning curve for me, and so I've gained a lot of knowledge on the defensive side of the ball, and I've had some great coaches help me with that. And Mark Arnold's a great defensive mind, and a guy like Ian Braun, who was my assistant, and picking their brains. And yeah, I was really proud of the defense. All the way through the playoffs to hold teams. I mean, they held Morris to 3, Camden to 6, and state championship game to 0, Greeley. So
Yeah,
and it was really that bend but don't break on Saturday. We did, if you look at the stats, we did give up some yards, but we were tough in the red zone all day long. And our scheme going in was to try to contain their athletes, don't let them outside. And I thought our defense did a nice job at that overall, and forced them to run more up the middle and stop their pass game, which I thought we did a nice job with overall. So,
I mean, I think that they turned the ball over on down 6 times. I mean, which is just really unheard of.
yeah, definitely. And, getting that, fumble recovery for a touchdown by
Evan
Evan.
McKenzie, I don't know if he's walking on ground yet or if he's still walking on air. I mean, what a highlight to pick up the ball and rumble into the end zone.
Yep, for sure. He led us in tackles on Saturday. And I mean, Nate Olson had a big hit on that particular play that, loosened the ball up, and we were able to pick it up and score. And that was huge at the time, of course. And, to get that lead. And, we preached all season, and I know people throw around the Belichick quote, do your job, but it really was a theme for our defense all season long. Trust your teammates, trust that they're going to do their job, focus on your job. And if we can all do that and do it effectively, then defensively we're going to be pretty solid as a whole. And we were, especially later on in the season.
Well, and then to reach into the bag of tricks and see the flea flicker from your son Jacob that he threw to Jaron Beekert. I don't know if Jaron could have been any wider open, and then throwing it into the wind, it kind of held up a little bit. And I'm going, God, I hope you got stick him on your hands, because he juggled it and somehow was able to pull that ball in. And what a big touchdown that was.
Yeah, that was such a bizarre play because watching it live, Jaron was wide open, and then you're right. By the time Jacob released the ball in the wind, I was like, "Uh-oh, the defensive back, he's closing quickly." And then I couldn't really tell what was going on. The ball kind of bounced around. I watched the film for the first time last night with my family.
Yeah.
I found that particular play probably 5 times, and I still don't know what happened with the ball because it looks like the ball's in his hands and then the ball's out of his hand, and then all of a sudden the ball comes back to his hands,
Yeah.
and it's almost as if the defender's helmet maybe got under the ball to tip it back up.
Get that back in. Wow.
Maybe Jaron has, some secret power that I don't know about, but
Spider webs or something. I don't know what it was, but
it was huge because you're right. We're probably looking at going into halftime up 8-zip, and that's not real comfortable. And
no.
sure enough, we get that one and, go up 2 scores, and that, not that we were ever feeling comfortable until the very end, but that was huge at the time.
We can't go without talking about our good friend Walter Churchill, who got destroyed on the sideline. He's still in the hospital. He's had hip replacement surgery. He's going to have knee replacement, or not knee replacement, but knee surgery on Thursday or Friday. And we're certainly concerned about him, and the community is as well. But let's talk about how great the boys are, because on Sunday afternoon they took a trip up to Bangor and presented him with the game ball. And I spoke to Walter on Monday morning. He had surgery that morning, and he was like in tears and just couldn't say such enough nice things about the boys for making the trip up.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome, Chris. And, my son had, said that some of the guys are going up to Bangor to kind of celebrate and, I don't know, go to Buffalo Wild Wings or something.
Yeah.
And then the conversation came around, to Walter and, why don't we bring a game ball up there to him and present that to him and how much that would mean for him. And so I was really pleased that, they were able to do that for him. And, you think about what he's done for our community, the last whatever. I don't even know how many years he's been doing it now.
15, 17 years. I mean, I'm trying to think back, and I mean, the professional level of photography that he has just chronicled and provides free to the every sport. I mean, he's done every sport, and just visible memories for not only the athletes but the families. It's just incredible to have somebody on the sidelines to do that.
Yeah, I mean, the time that he puts in, like you said, for no payment. I mean, he's just doing it to, to support the kids, mostly, firstly, and then support the community to share those great moments. I mean, me as a parent, I mean, he had some pics of, Jacob and I and my family, and, it's just amazing. And of course, he's so awesome at it that he, he can get those moments, probably better than most, and he understands that.
They're magazine quality. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you lose a lot of players. You had a great senior class, but you have a large junior class that are going to be itching now next year to repeat as state champs. And as we know, a lot of work happens in the off season, even though, okay, the gold ball's in the trophy case, everybody can relax for a little bit, but now the attention's going to turn to next year. And how do we restock the program? How many kids are coming up from 8th grade or from 9th grade, 8th grade? And obviously winning helps, but kids have got to reach out. You've got to work with the AYS, and I know you have. But it's like, okay, everybody's got to get bigger. Everybody's got to get stronger. Everybody's got to hit the weight room.
Right. Yeah, we have some nice pieces coming back. Some of our younger players, and you're right. We have some big shoes to fill, no doubt about it. Some really quality football players that will be graduating, and that's life in high school and college athletics for sure. And the great thing is our AYS program, run by Tony McKim, the football side of it is phenomenal right now. We had 3 full squads. We had our 2nd through 4th grade group, full team, 3rd and 4th grade group, full team, and 5, 6, and then 7, 8. Full teams with coaches and just doing an amazing job. Our 7, 8 team, I think they only lost 1 game, and even that loss was a close one. So, I think the future is bright for MDI football numbers wise. I think people are excited about football on Mount Desert Island right now, it's just fun. Tickles my heart. I know that, being a football guy. And you're right. Now we've won the state championship, and that is amazing. It's, a great accomplishment. And those kids, that are coming back, they just need to remember how hard they worked to get to that point this year. And you're right, they're going to have to start committing themselves in the off season. And we promote our kids to play other sports.
Right.
I'm not into specialization at all. I never have been, especially in a small school. I mean, we have 550 kids, and to have kids specialize one sport, it's just, I don't think it's healthy for our school and our athletic program. And plus, it's taking away from the kids' opportunities to play other sports. So we promote them to do other sports and to be in that moment, that competitive moment, no matter what sport it is. That's going to make our kids better. But yeah, the weight room, especially maybe with football more than other sports, is super important. And our guys, we're going to need to get back in there and get strong, and they can do that while they play other sports. It's only going to help with the other sports. So they're going to have to make a commitment in the off season and get ready for another year next year.
Hey, you and I talked briefly after the game, and you said this was for all the other Trojan football teams. I mean, I think back to 2016 with that loss to Wells in the state championship. I think there was a 2017 team that was special that lost in the Northern Maine finals. I mean, we've had some fantastic teams and great players, and I don't know if anybody's reached out to you, from the past teams or not.
So I received an email from Andrew Leiser
Oh yeah,
last night. When I woke up this morning, I read it, and he was talking. I mean, he graduated in 2006.
yeah.
His class was my first freshman group. So when I took over in 2003, they were freshmen, and they were the ones.
I was going to say that might have been the first year that I did Trojan football was 2006. So I mean, it's 17 years.
Yep. Yeah, it was, Chris. And they were the first group that we were able to get to the playoffs. And
Yeah,
they laid the groundwork for the other teams. And you're right, we've had some phenomenal teams, some phenomenal players, phenomenal coaches, community members. And I said to the parents and some of the community members that met in the gymnasium after the game that, this goal ball is for all of those people, those guys that, anybody, any football player, even Barber High School, the Seasiders back in the day, anybody that strapped on those cleats and those pads and went out there and played football and represented MDI football, and the parents in the stands and the community members and cheerleaders and anybody involved, this goal ball was for them. And we're really proud to be able to bring that home, and everybody should feel proud. They were a big part of this victory for us.
yeah. Well, it's been an amazing season. I can't thank you enough. I mean, you you get out of prep periods to talk to me. You go into school early. You use me as an excuse to get out of faculty meetings. I know, but I mean, but the level of access that you've allowed me over the 17 plus years has just been incredible, and I can't thank you enough. And it's just been a pleasure to be along for the ride and to bring Trojan football. I mean, I got notes from people that they were listening on the internet from all over the world, and how happy they were. And I mean, when I'm describing the ball loose, and they said, "Oh my God," when he talks about a fumble and his voice goes up there. I mean, the whole idea is to make football and basketball and everything sound exciting. Um, because if you talk in a monotone voice, who the heck wants to listen? But it's been great to be part of it, and I can't thank you enough.
Well, I appreciate that, Chris. And yeah, I mean, you're part of the team in my eyes. You're part of all the teams up here because you support MDI athletics, and you have for many, many years. Like we said, I think 2006 is when we started doing football together, and you're a huge part of that. And I truly appreciate all the time and energy. And I mean, you are WDEA. That's
Well,
Chris. So
it is funny because I wrote on Friday night that I was going up to the hockey game. And Mark Arnold told me, he wrote back and said that I needed to be in bed early, like the rest of the team, and get ready for Saturday. And I was like, "Yes, coach, don't worry." And
yeah.
then I was up at 3:30 on Saturday morning, and it was like, holy! I felt like I was ready to play. I had such nervous energy, and I finally got up at 3:30 because I couldn't stay in bed any longer. And he said, "Well, you could have talked to you because you were up that early as well."
Yeah, no, we were all. It was that kind of week. I mean, I was up.
Yeah.
I told Wayne Gray I felt like a fisherman, and I'm not a fisherman. I'm not tough as those guys, but because I was up early every morning and breaking down more film and getting ready. And yeah, I mean, it was Jason Hodgson, Cal Hodgson's dad. He texted me. He said it was the night before, and he said I feel like a kid before Christmas. Just waiting the anticipation. But I do have a list of people I'd like to thank, if that's okay,
Please,
Chris.
please, go
And if
ahead.
I forget anybody, I am truly sorry. I sat down with my wife today and thought the people that I'd like to thank, and I'm like, I know
So
I'm
you're
gonna
throwing Holly under the bus
it's
is what
all
this
Holly's
is.
fault if I forget you. So remember that it's not my fault. Uh, so for starters, once again, I want to thank our community. The support has been tremendous all season long and through my entire career. And the student body, the the Jay Haneys of the world. They just been incredible supporting MDI football, and we do truly appreciate that. And the kids feel that. I want to thank the school just in general. A lot of people just excited here in the building about the championship and the kids, and it's just been great. Of course, thank Bunky Dow. He's my athletic boss, and Bunky's been behind me and the program since day one, and he bleeds green. He's all in on MDI athletics, and he always has been. And I've always said this about Bunky, is me as a head coach. He's never said no. If there's something I need, I'm going to get it, and I truly appreciate his support. And he's just a wonderful person, and the administration in general have been there for us. Matt Haney and Ian Braun and Joe Cohen, and they're just wonderful people and supported the program. I want to thank my coaches, Mark Arnold, Nick Grant, Chris James, Wayne Gray, those guys, the amount of time that they set aside for football. These people have like real jobs, and then they have this other thing, this coaching gig, and it takes a lot of time away from your family and your personal lives. And so I can't thank those guys enough. And I've always said a head coach usually gets too much credit or too much blame, and this time definitely too much credit. Those guys have been just phenomenal. So thank the families for their support. The moms, my gosh, the team dinners, I normally just do team dinners for home games, and we did, but then we did a lot of other dinners, especially when we got in the playoffs. they were super excited, and I just gave them the reins and said, you tell me what to do and we'll do it. And they were all over it, and it's just been incredible in that regard. I will give a shout out to Jason Hush, and he was the one who actually put the wooden footballs on the telephone poles. Yeah. I've been told my wife was instrumental in sort of organizing that, and Dan Stillman, an ex-teacher here, he helped with that as well. And then the moms all got together and they decorated those, so that was great. Special shout out to Charity Olson. Charity is Nate Olson's mom, and she did yoga for the team this year. She came up 2 or 3 times. She owns Destination Health in Bar Harbor, and she invited the guys down anytime they want to come down for free to get treatment, whatever they needed. She was there for them, so I can't thank Charity enough. Special thank you to the Jeffers family, again, for a phenomenal meal at Testa's restaurant in Bar Harbor. I keep saying those meals are the best meals I've had all year long, and it's true. We get down there, and I mean, when there's multiple appetizers and entrees and desserts, and it's just phenomenal, and it's incredible food, and they do such a wonderful job down there, their staff. So can't thank them enough. I want to thank Side Street Restaurant, Jeff and Jenna Young. I'm walking off the field, and Jeff Young has a stack of gift cards that he wants me to hand out to the players and coaches and whomever, which was incredible. So I can't, thank them enough. Jack Merrill, he does my stats. Once again, a guy doesn't get paid for it. He just hops in the car, sometimes with Chris Popper, and heads down to Bath, Maine to do the stats for football games, and takes time out of his life to do it. And he does it because I know he loves the kids and loves the game of football. So that was awesome. Also, once again, Walter Churchill for everything that he's done for us. I want to thank the cheerleaders. They were there on that cold Saturday as well, and they've been on the long trips with us, and that takes a huge commitment.
I think it was Maine High School football said that MDI traveled over 1,000 miles this year because of just the way that the schedule worked out, which is really rather incredible when you think about it.
Yeah, we've been road warriors the last couple of years, and it's just the schedule in 8-man football. The demographic of the conference, and in our crossover games, especially the Lake region. That's a long haul. Feels like I'm in New Hampshire when I get down there, but right. It's been a lot. So the cheerleaders and their coach been right there with us. So can't thank them enough. Once again, Chris Popper. Right, everything that you've done for us and the program over the years, and just MDI athletics in general, it's been phenomenal. A lot of sleepless nights, getting home late from an athletic event, and then doing the write-up so everybody can see it first thing in the morning, because that's what people get excited to do. I know I do. Right. I get up and I click on WDEA because I want to see what happened the night before, and so just can't thank you enough. And the players, and like you said, the past players. Like we talked about before, the Andrew Weisers of the world, those guys laid the groundwork for the success that the program's had in recent years, and then the current players, of course, those guys, they did everything that we asked of them since August 14th and before that in the off season to get ready for the season in preparation for it. Those guys worked their tails off every day. They didn't complain about it, and we worked them hard. We had high expectations of them, and they met those expectations week in, week out. And I couldn't be happier for them to get for them to be the team to bring home a state title. I know they're awful proud about that, and they should be. So, and then lastly, I'll thank my family. Time away from them. My wife, Holly, she was instrumental in a lot of the team dinners and the signs and supporting a crazy coach and her son. It was a unique season for me to finish out with my son, to finish his career, and do it together, to win a gold ball together. Yeah. And numerous people say, geez, you can't even write that script, but you can't. I've been blessed. He's a wonderful young man, and I'm just fortunate that I was there for the ride. I had the front seat with him. And we did that together. So that feels really, really good and something that we'll never forget. So,
Well, and then, I mean, I've got to give Holly more credit than what you're giving her. I mean, from because I know, I mean, from you get into football mode in that first week of August, and you're in football mode, well, up through this past Saturday, and you're probably just coming down from it. And like you said, you still got to collect equipment, you still got to do these, and there all those nights are late nights, dinners either being reheated or being made for everybody else, and traveling with separately, but going down on all those games. That, I mean, I don't think she missed many games at all. And it's more than Jacob's mom. She's the team mom. And shout out to Holly for not only this year but every year. Because I know there have been a couple of years where you just haven't given her enough credit. So I got to help you out this year.
hey, listen, I don't need any help getting in trouble with my wife here, Chris. Okay. No, you're absolutely right. And, we've been doing this together 28 years now.
Right.
And she knows that football is a big part of my life, and she supported that from day one. And, I told the families, I know a lot of people were speculating whether I was going to come back, and especially with Jacob's senior year, and then we win a state championship, might be a good way to, to go out. But I told the families that I still have, firstly, the love of the players, and the love of the game. And yeah, it's been quite a journey, and it's just been something special in my life and my family's lives. And I just decided, if I still have the passion and the love for the game and the kids, let's just keep this thing rolling. So I plan on coming back for next season.
All right, I will too. Okay. We'll do it again next year. Coach, thanks very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. And again, just thank you so very much for everything that you've allowed us to be part of. And we kind of joke and we say, well, let's not talk too much about the upcoming game, because you're the only coach amongst all the football teams that does a coach's show. And we know that everybody's watching to try and figure out, oh, how are they, is anybody hurt? How are they gaming for us? So we've tried to be a little bit more coy than what we have in the past. But again, just thank you so very much.
Absolutely, Chris. I appreciate you.
All right. Have a good day. You're headed off to Portland for a conference. Behave.
Yeah, getting out of Dodge for a couple of days.
All right. You with Principal Haney and fellow PE teacher Matt Humphrey. What could go wrong?
Oh gosh.
Coach, have a great day. Thank you.
Take care.